detail it up.
Yeah, I love vacuuming. So for me, I'm having a hell of a time.
Yeah, having a ball.
Yeah, and I get to work by myself and I can listen to podcasts.
That's it. Yeah.
It's fun to me.
Don't have to work for anybody either. That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my biggest. When I moved here, I was working my ass off all over the place.
Yeah.
For everyone, just breaking my back, making very little money.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck this. And,
I'm done.
And then I was like, I'll buy my own equipment and then I'll just start with a vehicle. And
Yeah.
now it's gotten to the point where I've been able to sustain a living, which is nice.
That is cool, dude. That's awesome.
What do you do for work?
I'm at a Trader Joe's on Whitebridge there, you know? Yeah.
Man, I love Trader Joe's.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like it a lot. It's definitely, it's pretty crazy how much like they do in sales and stuff. It's like every Sunday is just absolutely insane, you know? But it's really fun. It's a great time.
Yeah, and great food.
Oh, great food.
I wish there was a Trader Joe's in East Nashville.
Yeah, they're opening one up, but I think it's more downtown. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nothing planned for East as far as I know yet.
Downtown, I mean, that's still pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think it's going to be, I want to say Germantown. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
Man, I love Trader Joe's. I used to go there a lot back. It's been years since I've gone there.
Yeah.
I used to get the Indian dinners.
Yeah.
I love those.
So good, man. I just was at Trader Joe's with Grace like an hour ago.
Oh,
and
yeah?
it's just stocked up on them, so.
Man,
Yeah.
You get, like 20% off?
Yeah, it's I can't remember, I think it's 20% off everything over, like, if we spend more than $20, we get 20% off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
easy
nice.
to do.
Very easy to do.
Wow.
Yeah, we, Grace and I moved in a few weeks ago with my girlfriend Lily and our friend Cara. We moved in together, and of course, like, we went to Trader Joe's and got all the, like, basic stuff we needed, and it definitely helped because it knocked off a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And you're paying for, like, your little village you own.
Yeah,
So.
literally, yeah. It's 4 of us over there on Annex now, so.
Nice, yeah. Grace was telling me that y'all are all moving in together. I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, it's gonna be a fun house."
I'm so stoked about it. It's been so nice. We
Yeah.
moved in a week early because our landlord's really, like, she's really sweet, like, sweet old lady, very kind, and she, like, thinks of us as her grandkids, which is awesome, and she's going to come to our shows, and she's just very sweet. She does, like, you can move in a week early, you don't have to pay for it or any of that stuff, and just, you know, let us know if we can, like, buy anything to make the house better, and I think you all as my grandkids, and we're so sweet. It's very kind, yeah.
Wow, that's the perfect living situation.
It's very nice, yeah.
It's like you're taken care of by your landlord.
Yeah, literally.
Not
Not
like-
screwed.
Yeah, not like, it's some contract where you're inferior to them.
Yeah. I've heard horror stories. Every landlord I've had so far has been pretty nice, and they've been really, like, it's been really nice, but I've definitely heard horror stories about shit landlords, like, showing up randomly and stuff, and just,
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's not-
I've definitely dealt with that.
yeah. Every lease I've ever signed, I've definitely been like, all right, in this lease I'm going to amend, like, you have to give us at least 24 hours notice, because I don't want to.
I don't want to see you.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you.
Yeah, literally. I'll send you my money that I work at Trader Joe's and break my back for. I'll send it to you every month, I promise.
Right.
Yeah.
No, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. Leave me be.
Right.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get started here.
Sweet.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nashville Artist Podcast. I'm Jordan, and today Happy Haugen is here.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome to my house.
Thank you. It's a beautiful house.
Thank you. So where are you from?
I'm from Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised here. The first house we lived on was on Abbott Martin, kind of in Green Hills area, but then when I was like 1, we moved to Sylvan Park, and I grew up there, and I've lived on the west side ever since.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, there's 4 of us. I'm happy, of course. I'm the oldest. I'm 21, and then my little brother Sonny is 19, and then my little brother Ollie is 16, and then Winnie will be 8 in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy, Sunny, Winnie, and
Ollie.
Ollie.
Yep.
All E's.
Yeah, all E's. My parents love the E.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it works well with your last name.
It does, yeah. I like it a lot, and it's pretty cool. I think we all have pretty cool names. I really like everyone's name. And like Ollie's not short for Oliver or anything. It's just Ollie. Winnie's just Winnie, not like Winifred or anything. And I really like our names.
Winnie, yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Are they musical or are they artistic?
Yeah, they're super, both, like, it's pretty cool. Our family is pretty musical, which is nice. Sonny he played clarinet through middle school and high school, and Ollie he drummed growing up, but lately he's just been like just piano and singing, and it's pretty cool just to see them kind of like grow as musicians, because we all really got into music around the same time. Because I just remember like growing up, we weren't ever like music is the shit, like this is all we want to do, but there was definitely like an inciting incident where we just all were like, all right, let's just all get into music at the same time. And yeah, Sonny was the first to really get into it, because he started playing clarinet in the band at school, and he just took off and is just doing so. It's like, it's cool just watching your brothers grow. It's awesome, you know.
Awesome. So he played clarinet, and then what are the other ones play? Or?
Ollie played. So yeah, he plays keys. Like he plays a lot of piano and he sings a lot. And he has insane rhythm, but he doesn't really drum anymore. Just because like at our house we never had enough space really for like a drum kit or anything like that, like a full size drum kit. But he definitely had, like, growing up, he had like this small like 8-year-old drum kit and stuff, and he has practice pads and stuff like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. And
yeah.
Do you all jam together?
Yeah, there was a time when I was living at my parents' in high school, and one of the bands I was in at the time, I ended up with the drums from the drummer from that band, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just set them up at my house and kind of piss off my family for a while, but I want to play drums. And Ollie started drumming, and Sonny came out to clarinet, and I was playing guitar, and it was, yeah, we never did like the family band thing. I think about it now, we should have, but it was really fun to play all of us together like that.
Nice. Wow. And they still live here in Nashville.
Mm-hmm. Sonny, they all live at my parents right now. Sonny is a freshman. He's wrapping up his freshman year at Nashville State, but he is about to, fingers crossed, hopefully move to Japan in August. Because he applied to schools there, and they do it in like phases. So it's like the first phase was like even like you apply, and then the first phase that you have to get through is like they're like, okay, you can get in because of your credentials or whatever. And then the second phase is they give you an interview, and if you get through the interview, you get into the school. So he passed the first phase like 2 weeks ago or something like that, which is great. Like that was huge news. And now he just has to do the interview, which knowing him, he's going to get through the interview like that. He's pretty fluent in Japanese now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he wants to go over there to kind of like really immerse himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to immerse himself. Yeah. And he wants to go to school there, but he also wants to like teach English too. And so it's cool that he's like bilingual like that, to the point where he can like, he like translates movies and stuff like that. He'll like watch shows in complete Japanese. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, he definitely inspired me. Like I was like, damn, I gotta do something. So I've been learning French this year, just because he totally has just inspired me to like
learn a language.
Yeah. And he's been doing it for years, so it's like so cool to watch that happen, you know?
Yeah. That is really interesting.
Yeah. It's really awesome.
What about your other siblings? Do they have like, what are they doing now?
Ollie, so let's see, Ollie is, oh shit, he's about to graduate high school next year, which is crazy. He is a big sports head. He plays lacrosse and all that stuff. Yeah, I just went to a game the other day, and he was...
What school does he play for?
Hillsboro.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, we all went to Hillsboro. Winnie, she is homeschooled right now, and she is super into ballet. She's the only girl in her entire Boy Scout troop, which is pretty cool. She's pretty cool. She's pretty cool too. She's very inspiring. She likes to dance. She does Boy Scouts, and she really likes to like watch shows and then replicate what's on the shows, if that makes sense. So like she'll watch like somebody cook something, and then she'll like go hound my mom about like wanting to go bake something, and they'll go to the store and then bake it. So it's pretty cool. She definitely gets inspired really easily, and she has like that mindset of like, I'm going to do it or I'm not going to be happy, which is kind of like not a bad mindset, but she she knows what she wants, and she's going to do everything in her power to get it. And it's cool just seeing her do that at this age already, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You said she's like 9?
Yeah, so she'll be 8 in August.
8.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're all over the age range.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's great. She has like that fiery curiosity.
Mm.
Everything's, the world's an amazing place.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And it's nice too having like younger siblings like that, because there's, especially with like in the past 3 years with COVID and everything, I definitely was down on my just luck, or down on my luck, but also I was just in a bad mental space. But for Winnie, she was, I guess, like 4 or 5 when the COVID hit, and so that was like her world as she knew it for a while. But through that, she maintained like that. Because she was so young, she still maintained that I still want to learn everything about the world, even if it's a depressing place right now, you know? And so to have her keep that same, like, the world is not a bad place, and it's such an inspiring place if you just look in the right places for that. That was, like, a big thing that helped me get through just isolation and lockdown and stuff like that. It was just my sister being so excited about the world when I wasn't excited about it, and was just so sad about, like, oh, I can't play shows anymore, I can't go on tour, I can't see my friends, there's like no point of it all, I'll just go to work and come back and go to work and blah blah blah. But then like just catching up with Winnie over the phone and stuff, and she was telling me about all this cool stuff she was learning. It was really cool.
Wow.
It's a very inspiring time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to understand or try to understand her perspective during that time.
Yeah.
We were all dealing with that too.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that a lot, being like 6 years old and can't, like, you're not in first grade, you know, like you have to do it all online. That's a crazy thought.
Rough.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless. And
yeah, for real.
I'm glad we all got through that.
Yeah.
Cool. So are your parents as well musical?
Yeah, my mom is definitely, she's musical in the sense that she grew up and she played piano. She had a piano teacher, and my mom has really good taste in music. And my dad's like he moved to Nashville, had a publishing company, went to Belmont, that kind of thing.
Cool.
So, yeah. He definitely, he has the ear for a really good song, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah. He's put me on a lot of good music.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of bands does he like?
So he's from Minnesota, and he was kind of coming up in the same time period as like Replacements, Husker Du, Soul Asylum, so like that scene. And
rock.
Yeah, and like the Replacements are my favorite band of all time, and so it's just cool to like, he definitely like helped light that fire a little bit with the Replacements and stuff. So he definitely put me on to like Daisy Head Maisie is a band that he was working with for a while, and like Jay Spate and that whole crew. He like, there's a lot of like good music that he worked on in Nashville from like I guess they're called the aughts, like the 2000s or whatever. There's a lot of good music that he was working on there that he's just like, oh, I found this CD, you can listen to it if you want. The other day, he's an eye technician now. The other day, I was going through my stuff and I found this Paul McCartney, Ernie Winfrey CD. And Ernie Winfrey, he was a big producer. He lived in Lebanon, I think. He was just a big time producer. Like when Paul McCartney came to Nashville, he went to Ernie's house and recorded a bunch of songs. And Ernie came into my dad's job all the time, and he's just like, here's a CD of some Paul McCartney demos. And my dad was like, shit, okay, that's awesome. And I found that the other day. My dad had given that to me, and it was so cool. It's all these like outtakes from like his Paul McCartney's like country days and stuff, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So my dad, like, he's just a resource of like hidden gems and stuff like that, which is cool. Lots of cool music that was never like, you know, arena like #1 on Billboard, but like the Replacements, Husker Du, like that scene, so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your big star hat.
Oh yeah.
Alex Chilton.
Yeah, Alex Chilton.
Now
My favorite.
Mixed it all together.
Yeah.
Replacements.
Yeah. Alex Chilton's one of my favorite singers, songwriters, everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what were you into as a kid?
I loved sports. Like I was a big time sports head. I up until I was like 12 or 13 years old, I was like, my whole goal in life was to be the starting center for the Boston Celtics. And that's what I really wanted to do. But then, like, you know, you grow up and I got into music more and stuff like that and was discovering more of that side. But growing up, I was always playing sports. I was doing like cross country, basketball, baseball, football, and like every sport imaginable. And then I also just like, I had like my neighborhood crew of friends that would terrorize Sylvan Park all the time. So that was really fun. And yeah, I'm trying to think.
What do you mean by terrorize?
We would just like, you know, we felt like the big kids on the block, like riding around on our bikes and like pushing over trash cans and stuff because we thought we were awesome and like
Little punk stuff.
But then like an hour later feeling bad about it and turning around and going to pick it up, and it was like that kind of thing. We thought we were tough for like all of 30 seconds and then we turn around and go fix whatever we messed up. So because we didn't want to get in trouble because, like, you know, our parents knew everyone in the neighborhood, so they didn't want to like get word back to them. So we're just like, all right, we'll just go clean it up real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but also reading, I love to read to this day, but reading was a big thing for me growing up too.
What books did you read?
So I was in first grade when I read Harry Potter for the first time, and that was like my favorite thing in the world was Harry Potter. And then I finished that series because the last book came out, I think, when I started second grade, and I read that in second grade, and it was awesome. And then I read like Percy Jackson, that kind of stuff. What's that one? Divergent. That was a good book. I really loved like the teen, like sci-fi, like Hunger Games kind of shit. Was definitely a John Green person. It's pretty funny. Like think about the books I like to read then versus that I do now and stuff. Because that was all just like anything that like John Green or J.K. Rowling or what's his name? Suzanne Collins, the Hunger Games author, like anything they wrote, I was like, I have to read this. It's so good. It's awesome. But now it's like, I like to read a lot of like short stories and stuff and a lot of music biographies. So,
I love music biographies.
Yeah. The Alex Shelton one is really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called A Man Called Destruction.
A Man Called Destruction.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
It's so good.
I love reading biographies.
Yeah.
I'm reading, do you know the band Ministry?
Yeah.
I'm reading Al Jordanson's autobiography.
Wow, I didn't know there was an autobiography out.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's intense.
Yeah,
it's great. But I love it.
That's kind of how the Alex Shelton one is. The Replacement's biography, that's one is really intense, but it's so good.
Yeah, I'll probably read that one before the Alex Chilton one.
Yeah, that one, I read that book a few years ago, and that kind of like spurred my newfound, because I've always liked the Replacements, but after I read the biography, I was like, oh shit, this is my favorite band ever. Just because their whole story is so interesting, and like how they came up and stuff, and yeah.
I heard stories that like the bass player was the youngest one, and he would put weights on his ankles so that he could jump higher.
Yeah.
Like when he played shows.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tommy Stinson. He was born the same year as my dad, which means that he was 15 when their first album came out.
Wow.
And which means that he was 13 when the band formed. And like at that time, Paul Westerberg was like 21, 22, and Tommy was like 13, which is crazy. Yeah, he was the younger brother of Bob Stinson, and so Bob Stinson kind of like forced him to play bass for the band that he had just started with Paul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've heard that their shows sometimes would be notoriously bad.
Yeah. During COVID, one of the biggest things
was it because they would get fucked up?
They were so fucked up. One of the big things during COVID that I got into was finding all their there's an entire archive on the internet of a bunch of live shows, like thousands of shows that they did from like their first show up until like that disastrous tour with Tom Petty over the course of like a decade. And there's one, like the infamous bad one is this show that they did in Oklahoma, and that tape is out. That tape got pressed actually by Twin Tone, and it's called The Shit Hits the Fans. And it's like it's not awful, but it's definitely like there's a reason why this was the one they pressed, because if you hear some of the other ones from like that period, they are just so fucked up. It's insane.
Really?
Yeah, I could pull it up later, but there's a show they did at the Cabaret in Chicago where the set list is literally like I Will Dare and then Favorite Thing, and then the rest is all covers, but they had changed the names of the songs to fit Bobbin. So they did a cover of Freebird, but it was Free Bob. They did Jailhouse Bob. They did Goddamn Bob. What else? It was so funny, and there's like just short snippets of it.
Wow.
And it was awful sounding, but it's kind of inspiring too because it sounds pretty cool.
So they were like college rock considered. So they would do a lot of covers and with their own music.
Yeah, they did a lot of really cool covers that. Like, they did an Only Ones cover, and that was on a live album that got put out maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I heard, and I loved it. That was, like, what got me into the Only Ones. They did this cover by Vanity Fair called Hitchin' a Ride, and their version is obviously, like, so much better because the original one is, like, just some, like, 60s pop song or whatever, but they totally just destroyed it, and it sounds awesome.
Sick.
Yeah.
Man, when I was working at this place called Red Bicycle on Nolensville Pike, we would just blast replacements in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I remember just like on Sundays, just like da-da-da-da.
Yeah. They're so good.
Knock it out.
Yeah. me and Jacob Cornfloss were driving the other day, and I was taking him home, and we just put on the replacements, and we're just obnoxiously loud in my car about it, and it's the best music. It's
right?
So good. It's awesome.
It hits, man.
Yeah.
Especially when Alex Chilton, that song.
That's a great song. Yeah.
It's like heavy, but it's like so rigid.
Yeah. Chris Mars, their drummer, hates that song though because it took him forever to learn how to play it, or like write the rhythm part for it, because it does the it's just, I think it's like just hi-hat snare for the verse, but then he switches to the chorus, like the I'm in love, that part.
Yeah.
He's doing like the ride, like the bell and the ride and stuff, but doing like an interesting snare rhythm. And he's hated it because he couldn't figure it out, because up until that point Paul was only writing like the fast, like
right,
like just snare drum or snare hi-hat, a crash occasionally, that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden he started writing more intricate sounding songs because he was just maturing, growing up. And Chris was like, fuck, this isn't what I signed up for.
Because like he couldn't keep up with the growth of like.
Well, he could keep up. Like, he's an insanely talented drummer, and he definitely kept up. But that was his moment of like, oh shit, we're not just going to do like punk songs. We're going to like be like quote unquote songwriters now. We're going to be people that like, they were trying to break into the like Hot 100 and shit like that. They weren't looking just for college shows anymore.
He was like, that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, but he kept with the band through the end, and like some of their greatest songs are like those like late 80s, early 90s songs. But yeah, I was reading the biography, that was the point when he was like, oh shit, this is like, it's just kind of one of those oh shit, I'm old moments now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't carry the same kind of vision.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. Replacements. Are they all still alive?
Bob Stinson passed in 95, I believe, and
OD or something?
Yeah, I think he was in this band called Static Taxi for a while, and was doing other bands and stuff in Minneapolis, but he had just always had some issues, and yeah, it was just pretty sad way, but he just passed in 95, and then the rest of like the original lineup is still alive, but Slim Dunlap was Bob's replacement, and he had a stroke in 2012, which prompted the remaining replacements. They got in the studio and put out the Songs for Slim EP, and that was like their first new music since All Shook Down. So,
dang.
Yeah.
So, what first got you into music?
Man, it's kind of corny, but I saw when I was maybe 13 or 12. Up until that point, I just was a huge like whatever's on the radio sounds good to me kind of person. But then I watched the Woodstock documentary, and I saw the Santana Soul Sacrifice performance, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that drummer, but that whole performance, that energy just totally like sent shockwaves through me, and that was like a pivotal moment in my life. And I still watch that all the time just because it's so electric and it just sounds awesome. And it was
They're all
like,
tripping face.
yeah, they're just all, yeah, 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, but yeah. So I saw that video, and then I was like, I'm kind of tired of sports. Like, I'll play it out of, I'll play sports with my friends, not on a team, but I really want to learn music and like really focus on music. And it was just literally that video, just watching their like camaraderie and then watching the back and forth and stuff and everything about it. And there's no vocals on the song too, which is like pretty weird because I love lyrics and shit like that, but that instrumental performance was so just interesting to me.
Wow.
And I remember just watching it over and over again and showing all my friends and being like, you have to watch this. Like, this is the coolest thing ever, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, all right, I want to really get into music now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I need to watch that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll send it your way. It's super good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it like 5-minute section of it? Or?
No, it's like the whole performance. I think it's Santana's last song at Woodstock, but they it's about like 10 minutes long. It's just them going back and forth, and the drummer was 19 years old or something like that, playing to the entirety of Woodstock, and it's pretty incredible.
No, I think you have 400,000 or 500,000.
Yeah, some crazy number.
Absurd.
Yeah.
So after watching that, what instrument did you pick up?
Guitar. Just, is the most accessible, and my grandfather played guitar, my dad played guitar, so I was given like one of those like first act guitars when I was like 6, but just kind of never picked it back up. But after I watched that, I went up into the attic and dug through and found it again and started playing that. It sounded like absolute shit. It was not a good guitar, but then my dad got a guitar for Father's Day or something like that, and he was like, you can just play this whenever. So I started playing that and like just figuring out chords and all that stuff. Chords were like the hardest thing at the beginning though. It was just because my hand could not make those shapes.
Oh, yeah.
It was painful, but yeah, just noodling on guitar and figuring that out.
Nice. So how did you start out, like in school or?
No, I had like a class that I went to for a while, but I was always pretty bad about lessons and stuff like that because I never wanted to like if I had to be in a classroom outside of school hours, I was going to hate the entire time, like I was like, I don't want to be in a classroom right now, I want to do something else. But so I did that, and then I bailed on that just because it was just moving slow, and it was just like I was in a classroom outside of school, blah blah blah, and I just was trying to find songs that sounded easy to play and would play along to them, and just literally just figuring out the roots and stuff like that. So if a song was in G, I would just try and find a G on the fretboard and just play that every time I heard when it would be, and then just add the next note to that and just kind of worked my way up that way.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So when you practice now, do you read music or do you just...
I'm getting better about reading music. I just finished my first semester at Nashville State for music, so I'm really like trying to get more well versed in that. But when I play now, I don't read music. I'll just like figure it out as I go, and then like I'll look up tabs and stuff I really need to, but a lot of it's like I want to figure this out and like try and really hone in on what's happening when, and like breaking the song down that way.
I see. Who right now are inspirations?
Man, there's that song Guided by Angels by Amel and the Sniffers is so good right now, but
Guided by Angels?
Yeah, Guided by
That's
Angels.
the band?
No, that's the song.
Band?
Amel and the Sniffers. AMYL and the Sniffers. Yeah, they're that Australian band. I just love that whole song, and like her vocals are so sick. And then the new Big Thief record too.
Okay, Big Thief.
Yeah. That Big Thief record has been on constant repeat for about a week now. Just listening over and over again.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's super, super good.
I've listened to their other stuff, but not the new record.
Yeah. The new record is kind of like their White Album in a way, just because it's like, I think it's their longest record, but it's all over the place in a lot of cool ways.
Okay, cool. So those are like the two bands right now.
Those are the two bands, always like their replacements no matter what. A lot of Silicon Prairie. That's a friend from Kansas City. He's super talented. Ian Teeple. I love the Silicon Prairie record. The new Glove record's great. Man, I'm looking through my phone right now trying to remember what I've been listening to. A lot of Jonathan Richman, of course. That's my guy. It's kind of been like those all back and forth. Big Thief, Silicon Prairie.
That's like what's been inspiring your guitar playing, you'd say?
Yeah. Well, guitar playing, definitely a lot of Silicon Prairie. Just because Ian's such a talented guitarist. It's crazy. He plays his guitar up, like I think he's a right-handed guitar player. No, he's a left-hand guitar player, but he plays it like low E is where the high E should be. So he does all these cool different structures and stuff like that. Snooper was out on the road a month ago, and we played with Silicon Prairie for 2 dates, and I just was blown away watching him play because I was trying to figure out the chords and stuff he was doing, but because it was upside down, they were all new hand structures.
Wow.
And it was just so cool to watch. He was just doing it so easily, back and forth. It was awesome.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check that out. He plays it like kind of like Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, but like Jimi Hendrix played it.
A right-handed guitar, left-handed.
Yeah, he played it like that, but had strung it so that the low E was on the top, you know?
Oh, okay.
But Ian does the high E at the top, then the B, G, D, A, low E on the very bottom where the high E should be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's crazy because it just totally like fucked up all my prior knowledge about the guitar and seeing him totally shred it literally upside down.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because with drums, even if you play it left-handed, it's still going to be kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you'd have to do some pretty insane stuff to like be like, how does he do that?
Yeah.
Or she or whoever.
Yeah. Drums are so crazy to me. I'll never be able to fully get it, I think.
Really? That's how I feel about guitar.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's a mystery.
Drums are so cool though. I love watching drum solos and stuff like that a lot. Just because like Nate Smith, you know, that jazz drummer?
Oh, yeah.
So insanely good, dude. It's crazy. I was watching that the one-handed solo he was doing on the hi-hat, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool.
He's a beast.
Yeah. I wish I'd seen it at the Blue Room a few weeks ago. I totally missed out on my opportunity.
I know, I missed that too.
Yeah.
I missed Dijon. Did you go to that?
Man, I wish I'd seen Dijon, dude. I had work one night, and then the other night was just sold out, and I was like, oh shit, well, oh well. So,
yeah, I worked one night, and then I was like, I'll go after this, and then I was sold out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, his new record is really good too.
I've never even listened to him, but
It's
just like
so good.
I noticed that there were 2 nights of him there. So I was like, what is this?
Yeah, you should definitely check that. Absolutely.
Like the mustard.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what would you say? Why are you drawn to the subject to this day?
To music?
Music.
Because it's just like it's like impossible to run out, you know, and it's like impossible to run out of good music because there's just too many people in this world for there not to be good music, you know?
Right.
And if you just look and find it, there's really good music out there. And that's why it's just so captivating to me because it's one of the most, especially live shows, are like some of the most raw expressions that you can have of yourself, you know? And watching the like translation from studio to live is always so cool, but it's also really sick to see all the different kinds of music across all the different countries and environments that can come out of a place, you know?
Yeah.
And it's cool too now, especially like watching how interconnected some cities are because of that. And like, I don't know. I think it's just because there's always good music out there, and it's always inspiring to hear it no matter what, because it's just such a cool thing. It's really, yeah. It's kind of like a lame answer, but
No, I mean, it's whatever it means to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, where now do you find inspiration? Is it like going to shows or like walking in nature?
Definitely going to shows, seeing like new bands play and bands that you had never heard before, and then also just really trying to apply, like really like dig deep and be like, get that out of your system that way, and seeing new places always, no matter what, like going on like long nature walks. I like to drive on Old Charlotte over there on the west side. I always drive that, and I'm always constantly like finding a new thing out there that I love, and it's just inspiring that way. And then also just band practices and stuff like that too. Just that's where the inspiration is, because Ophelia inspires me in a way different way than Snooper does, and Snooper inspires me in a way different way than Impediment does, and Impediment inspires me in a different way that both of the bands do. So it's cool to like bounce those 3 different projects that I'm currently in together. It's cool to like bounce those ideas and apply something I would do in Snooper to Ophelia, and then like likewise right across the board.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get a part of those 3 bands?
Ophelia, so Lily and I go out, of course, so
yeah.
So there was just like a hole that needed to be filled, and it was just a bass, and so they very graciously let me in. Shout out John Mark, Jack, Cara, and Lily. And then Impediment is just like, that's my music that I like to write and stuff, and that's me, Jacob Cornfloss, Sean Booze, and Lawrence Rogers, and that's just kind of like, those are some of my best friends, and it's easy to play with them because they're your best friends. And then Snooper is great because that was a really cool thing, because out of the blue, like completely random, last July, Connor just hit me up. He's like, yo, do you play bass? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, will you be in Snooper? And I was like, sure. And then that was like, the rest is history. And now Connor's one of my best friends, and Blair and Cam and Matt, they're all like my best friends now. And Matt and I have known each other for way longer, so that's a whole different thing. Matt's been one of my good friends for a long time, but Connor and Blair and Cam are some of like the closest people that I have in my life now, literally off of that one text Connor sent, which is so cool. And now we've like gone across the country together. Ophelia's going to the East Coast in June to get, like, that's gonna be really fun, because we all went to the same middle school, so that's gonna be crazy to think about. And Snooper's going to the West Coast in July, and it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of style would you describe each one of those bands as?
Snooper, I call Snooper spycore all the time. It's just cool. It's fun to play, and it's high energy the whole time, and it like that's what really lets me to get that. That's what allows me to get the pent up, like, I want to dance, I want to move, I want to get everything out of my system right now in the next 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what Snooper's good for. And then Ophelia is really nice for like, okay, I'm calm, but I'm still really thinking about like what I'm going to play where, because that, like, Lily and Jack are just music theory geniuses and stuff. Like, it's just, they're talking about crazy, like, you know, C sus, flat 9, blah, blah, like that kind of thing. Whole foreign language to me, but I'm still trying to learn it. And that's nice because it's high energy in a way different way, you know? Like, Snooper is definitely like, it's high energy and I'm thinking about what I'm playing the whole time, but I am physically tired after playing. In Ophelia, it's high energy, but my brain is tired after playing, you know? And then Impediment's just a clusterfuck. Impediment's just, it's so much fun playing with Impediment just because they're my best friends, and every show I've played with them has been a good show. In terms of, like, there's been some disastrous, we played all, like, it just didn't sound like how we practiced it, and it just wasn't there, but it's fun because it's like, those are my best friends, and it really makes it a good time no matter what. Because even if I sound like shit and fuck up, it's great because they're right there with me, you know?
Right.
So
What kind of I couldn't find impediment online.
Cause I'm a lazy motherfucker.
So I was like, what kind of?
Yeah.
Is it like rock? Is it like...
It's we Corn Floss has dubbed it Twangle Pop because we're a jangle pop band from the South. So we draw like a lot of inspiration from like the Clean and stuff like that. All those New Zealand bands, all like those Orc record bands from New York. Those are like some of our favorites, and we draw a lot of inspiration from that. So very jangly.
Jangly.
Yeah.
Jangly.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Twangly. Cool. So you haven't lived anywhere else. You've just stayed here.
Yeah. I almost moved to Boston about 2 years ago. Right, like literally that January, actually, right before COVID hit. But then I got scammed, and it was a whole situation. I lost a lot of money, but I just saw it as like that wasn't meant to happen yet. And I'm glad it didn't because COVID hit immediately after, so.
Okay, so this was like 2020?
Yeah. I was supposed to leave in January 2020 for Boston, but then that didn't happen, and I spent the entirety of COVID in Nashville, and I love it here. It's just, I definitely wanted to get out after high school just because I was ready to go. I graduated and was like, let me get the fuck out of Nashville and bounce on out of here. But ever since like I spent like lockdown and isolation in Nashville, it's just I've really seen it from a whole new perspective because it's just such a great city. It's like the people are great here. The music scene is pretty strong right now, and so many good bands and so much good music. But also it's nice too because it's like right in the middle of everything. Like, 7 hours to the beach if you want to go to the beach. You can literally get like a $30 flight to New York if you really want to get out that bad. But it's just Nashville itself is just such an inspiring place to live because it has that city feel, like especially on the west side and stuff. Now it's like definitely is like suburb or definitely like city and the hustle bustle. But if you drive 10 minutes down Charlotte, you're in the middle of the beautiful countryside. You can drive out to Leaper's Fork and be amongst like the cows and the sheep and all that, and it's so nice for that reason, I think. But I know that I'm not going to live in Nashville probably in like the next few years. I'm definitely looking at like just because I feel like everyone should live in a few places in their life, just get out and see some places, see some things.
Definitely. Cool. What would you say is something you've learned living here?
I've learned in living in Nashville, I've learned how to, I feel like, kind of treat people with respect, just because that's how you want to be treated, but also just like that's that southern kind of upbringing of like meet new people and treat them with kindness right off the bat, and if they're not going to treat you with kindness, you have to give them time of day kind of thing. It's like treat people with kindness because everybody has a story to tell, and everybody has something that happened in their life, and everybody has some shit going on, but everybody deserves that kind of like basic respect from the moment you meet them. And Nashville is always respectful like that. Nashville is full of people who are respectful and just kind, and it's a beautiful place to live.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. This is a very kind place. Very kind.
Yeah.
I'm from Lookout in Georgia, Chattanooga, basically.
Yeah.
And I think this place is more kind than it is there.
Really?
That place is kind, but this place, everyone is just so nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just, that's the whole thing. It's just everyone's kind and it's nice, and you can have a conversation with anybody and everybody so long as you're respectful about it,
Right.
And I really like that. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. I also learned how to crowd surf in Nashville too, so
yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I'll like apply anywhere I go now.
Yeah, I need to learn how to crowd surf.
It's fun. Yeah. I got Corn Floss to thank for that one.
Yeah, I saw that video or picture of you. Was that in the Blue Room?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That with Gorilla Toss a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun show, but I think that was the most crowd surfing Nashville has seen in a long time. It It was crazy.
Were,
I felt like
multiple people getting served.
Yeah, well, there's a picture of Cornfloss and Matt holding on to each other, and they're both up in the air. Grace was up in the air at the same time as somebody, I can't even remember who was up at the same time as her. And I remember I went up one time and I looked around and there's like one person kind of by the bar back there and another person back towards the door, and I was like right in the middle. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Wow.
It's so cool though.
Dang.
Yeah.
So Gorilla Toss, like high energy.
Yeah, it was definitely high energy.
Okay, I still haven't listened to them, but
It made me happy too because on Instagram the other day they posted that Nashville has been their favorite show that they've played, and I think it's because of how much energy everybody brought to the show. You know,
Blue Room's a fun room.
it's a very fun room.
I love the infinity wall. It's like,
Yeah.
how high can I stand on this?
Yeah, literally. Before I eat shit.
Yeah, before I slide. Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Blue Room is really cool. I really like playing there a lot.
Nice.
It's really nice.
What? So since you're in like 3 bands, how do you manage that, or what's in your way of?
I keep a very tight calendar, like a personal calendar, and that's kind of like the lame adult answer. But 9 times out of 10, it's just like I wake up every day and I'm like, all right, these are the things I have to do today. And like Tuesdays are my Ophelia days, Wednesdays are my Snooper days, and then impediment practices on occasion. Just because like everybody in impediment, like Sean does his Linwood stuff, Cornfloss is running to go, you know, and Larry's in his other band, Willie Pearl. And so it's just like that band is fun because when we come together it sounds really good, but we need to definitely like pick that up a little bit. I don't think about it. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have to write everything. My life lives on paper, baby.
Yeah.
Relax at this time.
No, I have a scheduled break time for my brain.
Exactly. Stare at this.
No. Yeah, when I die, there will be no question about what I did on Tuesday,
Right.
May 3rd, 2022, because it's written right down, yeah.
Right. The time. Yeah, 1 p.m. Interview happy.
Yeah. 2 p.m. Eat food.
Yeah.
2:15 breathe air.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So what is some advice you'd give to someone who's going to move here and do art?
Oh, wow, that's a cool question.
Art meaning, every genre.
Yeah. Someone who's moving here to do art, I would say that there's a lot to be said about supporting others too. In the sense that like if you work on supporting others, then people will want to support you too, just because that's how you show off like the best side of yourself is who you hang out with and who you want to support and stuff. But also really making sure that you get like if you do a commission for somebody, make sure you get paid. Don't let anybody not pay you for something. If you are a musician and you're working, like somebody asks you to play guitar, make sure there's like some kind of understanding of like, I respect you enough to like, I'll pay you, or let me figure out something to like compensate you for the time you're devoting to this. Not letting anybody kind of like walk over you because you're like an artist or whatever, like you are an artist, so be treated as such. Make sure you're not letting people like walk over you, or make sure you get paid for the things that you do, and really just look into uniting, like kind of like creating like a strong scene with other people, I guess. So
have a bond with the community.
Yeah, because those are the people that you'll want to fall back on when like your community that you build is who you're going to want to fall back on. If you blow up and get super successful and you just need a break, those are people. But also, if things don't go according to plan, you want your tight community, And I see though, if you have your community, you're going to do good things no matter what, because you have that community,
Right, little support system.
Yeah.
And people take you seriously, and
Yeah. I feel very lucky to have like a strong like Lily like holds me down all the time and is just like making sure I feel very supported and I feel very like grounded, and I'm very lucky for that. And my friends in Ophelia and Snooper and impediment. And everybody else, it's just like, it's nice because I want to do everything in my power to support them, and I also feel supported. And like I have friends that in Murfreesboro too, and like because me and my friend Deshaun and Cam do this thing called Bummer World too, where it's like a whole collective of like, it's a skate team, it's a magazine, it's a YouTube channel, it's Cam has like a cannabis business, and it's like just this whole conglomerate of things. And I really honestly, like, Deshaun and Cam, I have to thank for kind of like instilling that sense of like build your community and then grow kind of thing, you know?
Right.
Just because that's what the whole Bummer thing is about, is like it's the three of us and we're so tight knit and we support each other and everything. Cam just put out a short movie and Deshaun was at they premiered it at Deshaun's house, you know, like their house. They premiered it there, and it's just like such a, like having that foundation in your friends is what the best advice I can get. Get to Nashville, build your foundation, and make sure you get paid for what you deserve.
Yeah.
So
great advice. Cool. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add that I haven't asked you?
Man, just, you know, go run up Bummer World, go run up Impediment, Snooper, Ophelia, go, you know, all that stuff.
Check it all out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. What is something absurd you love or do?
Absurd that I love or do?
Yeah.
I have this, I love to log things. So right now, it's pulled up right now because I saw it on the way here, but
wow.
I keep a list of state plates I've seen and like just driving around and being places. So it's like, this is like the 4th or 5th time I've gone through all 50 states, which is cool. So it's like anytime I see like an Alabama plate, I'll check that off and write the date I saw it. And then that's 1 out of 50 states I've seen. So right now I'm still working on Delaware, Idaho, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Rhode Island, Utah, and Vermont, and Wyoming.
Wow.
So I'm pretty close to like finishing this list, but it's like that's kind of like an absurd weirdo thing. What else? That's like that's just the first thing that came to mind, just because I was like, I saw a new plate on the way here and I was like, I gotta log that. I'm blanking. I'm sure if like any of my friends were here, they'd be just listing stuff off. That's just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So you just have like 1 through 50,
mm-hmm.
and then like when you see a plate, does it all have to be in Tennessee when you see these plates?
No, it's anywhere. So like I saw an Alaska plate of all places in Kansas last month, and I had to I marked that off. So it's just anytime I kind of see a plate, I'm just like, oh, check. Yeah.
So you're super conscious of behind people's vehicles.
Yeah, not like a weird, like I'm not like, that's why it's absurd, because it's not like that weird way. It's just like, oh, that's cool, like a Hawaii plate in Kentucky, that's sick.
Right.
Yeah, just want, you know, I think that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that car has traveled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool too seeing like Canada plates and stuff here, and like Mexican plates and stuff. It's really cool.
Cool.
It's just, yeah, it's a little weirdo obsession I have of like, I want to write down, or I just want to like log like the plates I've seen, and there's so many interesting plates too.
Yeah.
So many cool
all
designs.
All the different art you can have put on your plate.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite YouTube videos?
Definitely that Santana video that I was talking about earlier. A lot of replacements, like live videos and shit like that. And then Jack from Ophelia lately has been getting me onto praise break videos. Just like watching just insane musicians playing praise breaks for like 15 minutes, and they're just so in the pocket. And like,
praise break? Is that like...
It's like so when you're... It's like, okay, so at church and like they're playing music and stuff, it's like the end kind of thing when they're like just jamming the music and they're calling out the progressions in real time and calling out the rhythms in real time and stuff like that.
Wow. It's like in gospel music?
Yeah.
Pretty much gospel.
So interesting.
What is it called again?
Just like praise break videos.
Praise break.
Yeah. And then So those are some of my favorite videos. I like watching the Big Thief videos. It's just music stuff mostly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Sick. Thank you for having me on. This is awesome. This has been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.